As Victoria's election campaign enters its second week, Premier Andrews is being forced to deal with the comeback of a former MP, while the opposition leader is defending past decisions made as planning minister. We've got reporters following both the campaigns. Let's go first to Julia Bradley with Daniel Andrews in Melbourne's northeast. Julia, the Premier refusing to be drawn on Adem Somyurek's latest move.
He refused to be drawn on those questions today, Kieran. The development that Adem Somyurek, the former Labor power broker, will in fact be remaining in politics. He's announced today, less than 2 weeks since announcing his retirement, that he will in fact remain on in Victoria's parliament. And this time he wants to run for the Democratic Labor Party, which is being led by controversial former Liberal MP Bernie Finn. So he's seeking to be re-elected in the upper house, the Northern Metropolitan region. He says that he wants to sit in the centre of Victorian politics. He says he wants to focus on helping working families in Victoria, and he's also suggested that he's the only person who can hold Premier Daniel Andrews to account. So he has felt that pull to remain on as a politician. But Adem Somyurek, no stranger to controversy, of course. He's been dumped as a government minister twice. In 2020, he was delivered a lifetime ban from the ALP, and that's because of accusations of branch stacking and of criminal activity. There was an investigation that was done by IBAC, which is Victoria's Corruption Commission, and the Victorian Ombudsman after that, finding that Andrews' government ministers and their staff abused their access to taxpayer money by seeking to gain factional power and also finding jobs for mates. So here was the Premier's response today on this latest development that Adem Somyurek is remaining on in politics.
I haven't given that much thought at all, actually. It's a matter for him.
We've also heard today from Bernie Finn, the head of the Democratic Labor Party. Here's what he had to say about the Premier.
The way he was treated, and the way he has been treated by the ALP and particularly by the Premier, is absolutely despicable.
Also today, the Premier has defended his government's economic management. This is after that state budget update suggested that the state deficit is set to rise by a further $1.9 billion this financial year. And that's after a global credit ratings agency today also warned that increased election spending is going to contribute to Victoria's credit rating. It's going to make it even worse. I put that to the Premier today. Premier, S&P Global Ratings says the election spend-a-thon will intensify credit rating pressure on Victoria, given it has the weakest budget position by far compared with any other Australian state. Are you worried about the impact that high levels of spending will have on Victoria's credit rating?
Well, I think that's the point that I've just made. You've got to invest in the productive capacity of the Victorian economy and invest in our people. New hospitals, new schools, properly supporting TAFE. That early years agenda I just spoke about, which is absolutely about the productive capacity of our state.
So Labor was out in the marginal electorate of Northcote today, held on just 1.7%. It's under a threat from the Greens as well, and the Premier was announcing financial assistance to young parents and to children, $69 million the Andrews government would inject into that if they were re-elected.